fingers down to the bone. Only time I drink for 40 is when I wanna drink for 40. I don't know, but I'm not doing this thing for nothing. I'm just a bachelor. I'm looking for a partner. Tell your friends, back off of us. We make love, you go. Baby girl, you know you're sexy. The way you move your body. I'm trying to go on without you here in my life. But let's be clear, I'm not doing this thing for nothing. Even though I got my own CD, maybe even on TV. It ain't none of your business, ain't none of your business. You better watch yourself, it's gonna be trouble.
Baby, I get big problems.
If she get any closer, I'ma have something for her. Baby, oh no. Please forgive me for what I've done, I'm sorry. All you will ever see, same OG.
Ginuwine isn't the R&B legend you think he is. To the world, he was the smooth-talking, pony-riding sex symbol who had fans throwing their clothes on stage. But behind the fame, his life was a complete disaster. We're talking tragic losses, betrayal, financial ruin, and some of the most humiliating moments of his career. The worst part? It wasn't just bad luck. Ginuwine set himself up for failure. At the height of his fame, he had Timbaland's iconic beats, Aaliyah as a close friend, and an industry backing him as the next king of R&B. But within a few years, he lost it all. The fallout with Timbaland, the industry turning its back on him, the cringe-worthy moments that had fans questioning his sanity. This is the real story of Ginuwine's fall from grace. And why, for him, a downfall wasn't just possible, it was inevitable. In the late 90s, Ginuwine was unstoppable. He had hit after hit, a signature sound, and a reputation as one of R&B's biggest sex symbols. His debut album, Ginuwine, The Bachelor, went double platinum, and Pony became a cultural phenomenon. Every club, every radio station, Ginuwine's voice was everywhere. With Timbaland producing his records and Aaliyah as part of his inner circle, the future looked untouchable. But that was just the surface. What fans didn't see, Ginuwine was barely holding himself together. In 1999, at the height of his success, his father took his own life. Less than a year later, his mother passed away from cancer. Ginuwine later admitted that after losing both parents, he spiraled into deep depression. He turned to Hennessy and ecstasy pills, popping up to 7 a day just to numb the pain. He even admitted that he attempted to take his own life multiple times. And when you're struggling with that level of pain, it's only a matter of time before your career takes a hit, too. Ginuwine didn't just lose his parents. He lost his focus, his drive, and eventually his place in the industry. Ginuwine had everything he needed to become an R&B icon. Timbaland's beats gave him a futuristic sound that set him apart. Aaliyah's friendship kept him connected to the industry's rising elite. And his natural charisma made him one of the most desirable R&B stars of the late 90s. So what went wrong? For starters, he ruined his most valuable relationships. By the time he was recording his third album, The Life, Ginuwine and Timbaland weren't even speaking. Timbaland, the man who helped shape his entire sound, was no longer in his corner. And it showed. That album had only one Timbaland-produced track. Fans could feel the shift. The production wasn't as sharp. The energy wasn't the same. And what's worse, Ginuwine and Aaliyah had also fallen out. Before she passed away, he admitted that their friendship had been damaged by bad industry advice and ego-driven decisions. That means that by the early 2000s, Ginuwine had lost the two most important people in his career, and the industry was taking notice. Timbaland wasn't producing his records anymore. Aaliyah, one of his biggest supporters, was gone. Without them, Ginuwine started fading into the background. And when you're an R&B star built on a signature sound and image, losing momentum is a death sentence. But that wasn't the only problem. Ginuwine wasn't just losing industry support. He was sabotaging himself. His personal life was getting out of control. His drinking and drug use were still an issue. He was spending recklessly. And his personal relationships? A disaster disaster waiting to happen. Ginuwine wasn't just falling off the charts, he was falling apart. Ginuwine's career wasn't just struggling, his entire life was a mess. By the early 2000s, the music industry was changing. R&B stars had to evolve or get left behind, and without Timbaland's production, Ginuwine was stuck in the past. But what made things even worse? His personal relationships were crumbling too. He had multiple children by different women, creating financial chaos and legal battles. His daughter publicly called him a deadbeat in a shocking social media post, and his marriage to rapper Soleil, which once seemed like his one stable foundation, was secretly falling apart. Meanwhile, his money problems were stacking up. The IRS came knocking. He owed $300,000 in back taxes. His former manager sued him for unpaid royalties, and his lavish spending was catching up with him. Ginuwine later admitted that juggling 9 kids, multiple child support payments, and a failing marriage was financially and emotionally draining him. And when a star starts losing money, the industry smells blood. The label stopped pushing his music. The industry stopped taking him seriously. And when the drama in your personal life starts overshadowing your talent, your career is basically over. But Ginuwine wasn't ready to accept that yet. He tried to make a comeback, but what happened next was beyond humiliating. By the late 2000s, Ginuwine was desperate for a comeback. His albums weren't selling like they used to, and the industry was moving on without him. So, in 2009, he made a big move. He reunited with Timbaland and Missy Elliott for the track Get Involved. This was supposed to be his redemption arc, but when it came time to shoot the music video, Timbaland didn't even show up. Let's be clear. Ginuwine paid him $50,000 to be there, and Timbaland still ghosted him. That was the moment everyone realized Timbaland had officially moved on. And then came the truly embarrassing moments that made fans start questioning everything. In 2013, Ginuwine tried another comeback, this time with TGT, a supergroup with Tyrese and Tank. On paper, it should have worked. 3 R&B heavyweights coming together, a guaranteed hit. Except that's not what happened. During one of their TV performances, Ginuwine looked completely out of it. His blinking, jittery movements and overall awkward energy had people wondering, was he high? The clip went viral. Fans were roasting him online, and the rumors started flying. Even Tyrese couldn't ignore it. He later revealed that Ginuwine was so unreliable that they had to cut the tour short. And then came the final humiliation. Tyrese and Tank announced that they were moving forward without Ginuwine. Think about that. Ginuwine got kicked out of a group that he helped create. At this point, his career wasn't just struggling. It was a joke. And the industry completely turned its back on him. At this point, Ginuwine wasn't just dealing with career humiliation, his money was running out fast. And when the money stops flowing, everything falls apart. By 2014, his former manager sued him for $83,000 in unpaid royalties. His lawyer responded with a shocking revelation. Ginuwine was broke and on the verge of bankruptcy. And this wasn't just bad business decisions. His personal life was draining his pockets too. He owed $300,000 in back taxes. He was paying thousands every month in child support for his 9 kids. And his marriage to Soleil officially collapsed. The divorce was brutal. Court documents revealed Ginuwine had to pay Soleil a $150,000 lump sum in exchange for keeping their $1 million marital home. He also had to hand over his stake in a business they had built together. On top of that, he agreed to pay $3,000 a month in child support. So while his ex-wife was moving on, eventually marrying Professor Griff from Public Enemy, Ginuwine was left drowning in financial stress. The man who once dominated the R&B charts was now struggling just to stay afloat. And when the industry knows you're broke, they never let you forget it. After years of career missteps, money problems, and public humiliation, Ginuwine finally tried to clean up his image. He started doing reality shows to stay relevant, like Celebrity Big Brother in 2018. But even that came with controversy. While on the show, he was accused of being disrespectful after a heated exchange with a housemate. And once again, his name was trending for the wrong reasons. At this point, he knew his mainstream career was over, so he focused on touring and performing nostalgia sets, booking shows with artists like Ashanti and Mario to keep a paycheck coming in. And despite everything, he's still out there performing. But let's be honest, he went from R&B royalty to a cautionary tale. Ginuwine's downfall wasn't just about bad luck, it was a slow, painful unraveling of everything he had built. At his peak, he was one of the biggest names in R&B. He had the sound, the talent, and the industry behind him. But instead of evolving, he let bad decisions, broken relationships, and personal demons pull him under. Losing Timbaland's production changed his sound. Losing Aaliyah's friendship changed his circle. And losing control of his personal life made him an industry liability. And let's be real, Ginuwine had all the tools for longevity. He could have been like Usher, someone who adapted and stayed relevant for decades. But instead, he alienated his biggest supporters, got caught up in personal drama, and let his career slip away. Now, he's still performing, still making money, but let's not kid ourselves. This isn't the same Ginuwine who dominated the 90s. He's no longer the R&B superstar. He's the nostalgia act, the guy you see on throwback tours. So the real question is there still time for one last comeback? Can Ginuwine reinvent himself and reclaim his place in R&B history? Or is he destined to be just another fallen star, one that fans remember fondly, but the industry has already forgotten? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Ginuwine can still make a real comeback, or has that ship already sailed? And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories about the legends who shaped the culture and the ones who lost it all. Because in the music industry, success is never guaranteed, and sometimes the fall from grace is just as legendary as the rise.